Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes. Yeah! Alright, whole episode worth it. Whole episode worth it. Hey folks, I'm Jacob, this is Weebservations, and I am ready to get back into The Promised Neverland, episode 17, season 2, episode 5, if you prefer. But first, before we get into the episode, we gotta talk controversy, because there has been some controversy, particularly from manga fans, anime and manga. Apparently there's been controversy for manga fans over how The Promised Neverland has been adapted to anime. Apparently a whole arc has been skipped. Now I don't have a dog in this fight because I have not read the manga, but I have heard about this arc for many years, just from fans talking about it, cursory, this Goldy Pond arc that I think originally took place in between when the good demons, Sonju and Mariska Hargitay, whatever the other demon's name is, that arc and the finding the underground shelter where the William Minerva has set up for the kids to relax for a little bit before they get hunted down again. I think the Goldy Pond arc took place in between those two, or at least very close to when they find the shelter, maybe after, I don't know. Point is, it was really important for character development and was highly entertaining and high tension, something about clowns and guns. That's all I know about it. Clowns, guns, and character development, and it's been completely skipped by the anime. So, since I've only seen the anime, I don't really have a perspective on what has been lost. I only have a perspective on what has played out so far, and I understand fan ire a little bit because, although I don't sense the absence of something missing, they did a very good job of smoothing over. It doesn't feel like anything has been skipped. I do feel the emotional absence of something missing in the structure of the story. So far, The Promised Neverland Season 2 has been really missing the tension, the ever-present hair always standing on end momentum that the first season had. It has really just kind of toddled along from exposition point to exposition point, and the only character development that anybody has gotten pretty much at all is Emma, and I like what I see from how Emma has grown and changed. She's becoming a little tougher, and she's sort of recognizing that in order to be the mama bear and protect her kids, which is something that I wanted to see right at the beginning of the second season, she's gonna have to kill, and she's gonna have to maybe lie, and you know, some darker stuff for the character who is like the bright, sunshiny, maternal core of this group. And that's all been good, but otherwise, there has not really been any character development, and there hasn't been much in the way of tension. The only moment in these first several episodes that made my hair stand on end was when Sonju, the good demon, revealed that he let the kids go because he wants to eat their descendants. And that's not, I mean, it's creepy and it's interesting, but it's not an immediate source of tension. It's literally tension that will play out decades into the future. So I was like, oh, that's creepy. Oh, it has no bearing on the plot right now. Okay, the big problem right now is that I like these kids, and if this was not a story that is supposed to be, you know, it's a pure fiction, it's a narrative, I would be really happy for these kids, because they need a break, and they've gotten a nice long break and a lot of like sweet bonding time where they're cooking and having baths and playing music and all this nice bonding stuff, and Ray is becoming a really reliable dad-like figure. He can basically do no wrong at this point. I mean, he did really screw up when he left that message that the demons used to find the shelter, but that's neither here nor there. Ray as a character has just become a really good guy, and there's not much conflict there. The show weirdly is kind of absent of conflict, and I feel like if that Goldy Pond arc, whatever it was here, that problem would no longer exist. So it's like I like these kids and I'm happy for them, but they aren't real, and I don't know these kids, and I'm not learning more about them. So I'm watching these kids that haven't really been developed, and the time has not been taken to differentiate them in the group and just give me something more in terms of character and story to latch onto. I don't know, it's not enough. It's been unsurprising, and the tension is just not there, and it's a little disappointing. Emma and Ray don't have much chemistry together without Norman. They don't. Norman is missing, and you can feel his absence. The stuff that Emma is going through, she would go through the exact same way, whether Ray was there or not. It does feel like there is a punch missing that I need from this show in order for it to remain compelling. It's not bad. I'm not bored or bothered by anything that's happened, but nothing has surprised or excited me either. I feel like I'm waiting for the story to get going, and I'm just being given information, and Emma is growing and changing in a way that feels right, feels like a good pace is being set, but nobody else is. And so I'm excited for the kids to get to their next destination now that the shelter has been compromised by evil humans and the demons who eat them. So I am looking forward to what's going to happen in episode 17 of The Promised Neverland, and I'm hoping that whatever is ahead, it can make up for the absence of this Goldy Pond arc that people seem to be missing so much. So let's get into it. Is this the kitchen at Arby's? What is this? Ah. If you're not a big cool demon, you have to eat like bugs and the weird frog creatures that live in the forest. I guess you don't get to eat humans. Is that just the heads? Is that just children's heads in there? I don't really have jokes about this. It's just very disturbing and macabre. Please don't ask me to come up with... I'm not that edgy. I'm just not. But, I guess the kids are gonna have to travel... Yeah, those are not demons. Those are not demons. The kids are going incognito. Oh, man. Well, this is a recipe for disaster. We were starving. We're glad you came back to us and didn't get eaten by demons in the demon city that you went to. So did you see anybody you recognized on sale at the market? Oh, this must be, it looks kind of like a church. There's a statue, there's an altar there. Maybe this is the church where the kind of the demon religion that says don't eat people, worshipped. I wonder if that's what this is. I have heard some complaints also, more limited complaints, not because I think fewer people care, but because maybe fewer people have the the vocabulary to explain what's bothering them about the direction of the show and not just the adaptation. But I've heard a couple people who are a little bit more who are weird cinephiles. I say that as a weird cinephile. Picking up on the direction of the show as well, being odd, and it's weird. So the thing is, it's very good, and it was very good in the first season for feeling a sense of alienation. It's a lot of shots that don't hook up, shots that are that. There's stuff where, basically, shots where the focal point is off-center and cut off in some way, and shots that don't hook up. They don't break they don't break the 180-degree rule. You're not confused about where you are because there's a bunch of different establishment shots before the close-ups happen, but then the close-ups happen and they're off-putting, right? It's great at brewing a sense of paranoia in stasis, right? Cabin fever. Really good in the first season. It has the same techniques are being used here, which is why I'm talking about it right now. And I promise I'm paying attention to the story as well. Emma feels like she's carrying the weight of the world, and she can't. She's doing the most, and Ray's probably going to tell her to take it easy on herself. We'll see here. But to get back to my point, these same shot compositions that I'm describing that we just saw over the dinner scene and the listening to the radio scene, where you're not seeing a whole lot of human facial expressions, you're not seeing a lot of more than one character in a shot. Stuff like that. Again, great in the first season for setting up paranoia and not knowing who to trust, that kind of thing. Less good for intimacy and for scale. And that has really begun to creep into the show in a negative way, I think, here. Because, just the transitions, okay.
It's not bad direction, it's just not tonally appropriate. It's not like it's crappy and I don't understand what's happening or it doesn't look good. The show looks good and it's fine, but like, yeah, here's a scene where maybe we have a closer focus on these characters and maybe a look back at the older characters who are looking at. Okay, there we go. That what I was describing just happened. So this is a more practical staging for character interaction, where she's like, "Oh, I don't want them to be in danger, right? I don't want anything bad to happen to them, so I'm not sure if they're ready for this." But the shot we started out on, where all this was introduced, was like back behind. Look, so this angle right here that we're seeing right here, this implies that we opened with and held on for a long time into the conversation implies you are being watched. The out of focus rock there kind of gives the impression that like something is in the foreground, aka like there's something watching this over here, and it's not particularly invested in that thing. Like now the shots are changing pretty rapidly. Rapid shot changing is good for tension, for action, that kind of thing. There's nothing wrong with this. I am describing to you right now what happens when I watch literally anything. This is what it's like to live inside my brain. And did the stream freeze, or did we just... Okay, it didn't. That was just a lot of black. I am not necessarily coming to a conclusion here. You are just watching the cotton candy spin in real time, and it hasn't become a delicious, delightful ball of anything that makes sense yet. But the point I am making is there is a demon who lives in this church, and that's fine. But tonally, we aren't really getting a sense of adventure or camaraderie in this edit. In the way the direction in the edit is very tense. But the story has not been tense for a long time, but we've still had stuff like this, even though the story itself has not been tense. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, I'm trying to make this have a point, because I've talked very long time over unedited footage, which means the bots are going to come for me. So I guess we're worried that this demon, who is blind, like many demons seem to be... I wonder if we're going to learn more about, like, the number of eyes, or whether you're... I wonder if you abstain from eating humans, do you go blind? Because that was true of the underground demons that we met earlier, right? They can't see. It was a sweet gesture, and it's meant to be sweet. But the way they framed it was a close-up of him smiling and then a harsh cut to silhouette. And that doesn't tell me, that doesn't tell me like, oh, this is a moment of connection and intimacy between these characters. It told me he knows her name, and that's a threat in some way. But apparently it's not. Do you see what I mean? The tone is a little askance of what... No, this edit is weird. This is like the passage of time. It was really effective in season 1, but there's no reason for all these crossfades, for all these fade downs. That's weird. It's a little flashy, but it's not right for the scene. Oh, Bulk and Skull. They're back. You have a hand growing out of your cranium. Oh. A naked mole rat baby and a... Huh. So we just saw a demon city for the first time. We've never seen a demon city before. And they just kind of went, here, you're in a demon city. And you didn't really get a sense of scope. Even the big market of, oh my god, all this meat that they're selling, and some of it's human meat, and like... There should be kind of an immersion, a grandiosity to it, and it just sort of happened. And I was like, oh, I guess they're in a demon city? Okay, what's that like? I don't know. It just kind of seems like a human city, only they're selling weird things I've never eaten before. Yeah, I'm going to quit on this tear now, because some people really don't care, I'm sure, would rather me just talk about the story. However, you get the point I'm making. It's not quite right. Oh, a lot of quick cuts. Where are we? What's happening? They really don't blend in, do they? I guess, I mean, we saw some really, really weak demons that look like naked mole rats and babies with hands growing out of their heads. So maybe really, really tiny demons like that do exist. It's possible. But y'all playing with fire. I'm worried about you. Don't scare me like that. I'm worried. Boom, 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 boom. I don't really remember the Bulk and Skull theme too well. It's been many years since I watched a Power Ranger. Suddenly Sekiro speedrunning Demon City between two souls. That's not it. That's not... Shadows Die Twice. That's it. Two Souls is like weird. Isn't that a David Cage game? I don't remember anymore. I tried to make a joke and it all went south. So, how do you like your kids? Sunny side up? Over easy? Scrambled? I guess that's how we're getting Bulk and Skull. Scrambled. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Yes. Yes. Yes, yes. Yeah! Alright, whole episode worth it. Whole episode worth it. Alright, just skip a few to minute 19 of episode 17. And I got what I came here to see. Yes.
Alright, that was Season 2, Episode 5 of The Promised Neverland. And it took a while for my feelings to catch up with me on this second season. As you may have noticed, they caught up with me while I was watching the episode, and you witnessed the fallout of that. I unfortunately kind of started to go on a rant there when it hit me how I really kind of felt about how the story was going. And yeah, I think I am, unfortunately, disappointed in The Promised Neverland Season 2 so far. It's not bad. I'm not like, oh, this sucks and I want to stop watching. And if it sucked, I would probably keep watching it, because that's just the kind of pervert that I am. But I expected more from the Demon City. I really did. I didn't get a whole sense of like scope or danger. Or it almost felt like a business as usual episode when it should have felt more momentous. And it didn't start feeling exciting until we saw Norman again at the end. So I can't be too upset because Norman is back, and I'm just happy he's back. Emma and Ray, I love the characters, but they don't have much chemistry. Norman is kind of necessary for those characters to feel like a complete, I don't know, it's just weirdly, once Norman disappeared, Emma continued on her kind of track of character development, but Ray, he might as well not be, he doesn't really add anything to the scenes he's in with Emma, so we need Norman back, and I'm just glad he's back. Especially because nothing was happening with the other characters either. So, yeah, I Promised Neverland, it's got a lot of work to do to get me really excited about the show again. But I'm still here. It certainly hasn't shit the bed or anything, and that's good. It could be much worse. But we're just kind of coasting right now, I feel. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and thank you to my lovely patrons over on Patreon. I couldn't have done this without you. Thank you so much for being supportive of my return to YouTube after all these years, getting on camera and talking about anime again. It's taken a lot of courage. It is not easy, and I couldn't have done it without you guys. The Patreon has actually already funded future reaction videos for March, Wonder Egg Priority, and Horimiya, which I'm excited to look at very soon, and I'm going to be making a longer form, more intensive video, if these reaction videos aren't necessarily your thing, in a couple weeks about Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, so look forward to that. I actually need to update the Patreon's main page, and I've been waiting until this Ace Attorney video is done so that it can kind of reflect my future direction more accurately. Yeah, so look forward to that, and if you want to see your name in the credits and help pick topics for future videos, feel free to support me on Patreon. If not, just leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff really helps me. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching, and I will be back very soon with more Promised Neverland and much more anime from all across the spectrum of the winter season and beyond. I just put out one about Mobile Suit Gundam if you want to check out some more classic anime. And I will see you all soon. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Sayonara, bye-bye.